Everybody, welcome back to another movie review where I geek out about a movie I just watched. And today we're reviewing The Purge election year. Hence the creepy mask that I got at Scarefest and I absolutely love and thought this was a perfect way to wear it. But I'm going to take it off now so that you can actually understand the words that are coming out of my mouth as we delve deep into The Purge election year. And this is going to be my all spoiler review, so I'm going to talk all the spoilers I want to in this. So if you don't want to be spoiled, this is going to be your warning. I got a no spoiler review you can check out. Link is in the description below, or something's popping up right about now. You can click on that and then come on back and check this out when you're ready. So here's your warning: spoilers, 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 spoilers. Okay, you cool? You gone? All right, so it's as good as any of the others. This is probably the best of the Purge movies, but still, the characters are so dumb. Let's get right into this. So we start off with the senator being, we see her as a kid 18 years ago, and her whole family is being tortured and having games played with them. They don't really show any of it. It's just the family sitting on the couch bound and gagged, and they're just covered in blood and stuff. And this guy is all creepy and playing songs, and he makes the mom decide which of the family gets to live. We don't see any of that. That's pretty much what I just explained to you. That's it. It's like 30, 60 seconds, and we're out 18 years later. To set up the horrors of what was going on, I really feel like we needed more of that scene. We needed to experience what she experienced a little better in there, because, it wasn't enough. And I'm not looking, you do expect a certain level of torture porn in these things, if you will, and that's one of the things that was lacking in this, for better or for worse. I love the effects of really good gory kills. I grew up a Tom Savini kid and everything, so, I look forward to that stuff. This movie is really just like soldiers shooting each other's brains out from a distance. That's the bulk of the gore, aside from a few other places. But, so we set that up with the senator, and I wish they would have set it up more. Now, of course, 18 years later, she wants to shut down the purge, and of course, the holy Christian other dude running for president, it's our thing, it's what we do, blah, 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 blah. And of course, this is all an allegory for big government versus, personal change and all that stuff. Pretty obvious. They set up what could have been a really good bad guy, like the guy behind the head of the whole Purge organization. He has a brief scene and doesn't get seen again till the end briefly, but he got under my skin immediately, and they could have done a lot more with him than they did. Now, what happens is just right before the Purge, they announce, hey, this year, all the rules are off the table. You can now kill high-ranking government officials. So I'm thinking, hey, shouldn't that be suspicious? I mean, the only reason they're doing that is clearly this lady is, doing well enough in the polls that they're going to try and kill her. Now, granted, our non-Punisher guy, I can't remember the character's name, but he was the guy from Part 2, because Part 2 is a Punisher movie that was not the Punisher, so I'll just call him non-Punisher. Not Punisher, but he's the head of her secret service, the head of her security. They don't really talk about how that all happened, but that's fine, I can buy it. But so what they do is she's like, I'm not going into hiding, I'll lose points in election and all this stuff. I'm going to stay at my home like 99% of the country. Okay, I can kind of get on board with that. The problem I now have here is they do fortify her place, and even not Punisher puts a secret exit that only he knows about, and of course that's gonna come in handy. But I'm like, look, we're talking about they've taken the killing the government thing off the rails. How many of these people can you really trust, even if they're Secret Service? There's obviously big money involved, and surprise, surprise, they get betrayed, and these hardcore soldiers come in to kill everybody. And I'm just thinking this guy made her room a safe room, and he's like, no one comes in or out but me, but then they don't do any of that, and I'm like, it's 12 hours. The Purge is 12 hours. You put some goddamn porta potties in her room, plenty of food and water. If you're gonna build this whole thing, just build it like a goddamn bunker, and no one goes in or out. They're trying to give her the comforts of home. She can walk in and out and go around all the different rooms. No, that's bullshit. Anyways, that just left her open to be betrayed, as she does. Of course, all hell breaks loose. They have to escape, and now they're out on their own. In the other side, we got this whole thing with this guy, Joe, running this little deli, who's really cool, and this chick who's this ex-killer, badass kind of chick, and this dude from Mexico who's a crack shot, we find out, who just wants to help and has a bad past. Then there's these shoplifting girls that just really get under my skin, and they're part of the best thing in the movie. They kind of show up in schoolgirl outfits, and they're being all flirty and shit, but they bow down to the killer lady, and they do leave, but they're gonna come back and be a problem. The same time, the dude's Purge insurance gets pulled the day before the Purge because they want to charge him $10,000 or something crazy, and they don't really do much more about that, so that may be set up for the future, but so basically the Purge is happening, and we're getting the ball rolling. Him and the Mexican guy are gonna guard their shop, and of course, you know, the girl shows up and everything. Now, the killer girl, she's actually riding around in an ambulance. They do like Purge medical services. I do think this was kind of a neat thing to add into the story and into everything, but I have some issues with it where we go with it later. Of course, everybody's paths eventually cross and all that stuff, but really the best part of the movie is when that candy shoplifting psycho girl comes back from the beginning, the school girl with like the afro puffs. I think that's what they're called, right? They're like pigtails, but they're balls kind of things. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But and they are great because she is over the top as hell and just like really under your skin, and you just can't wait for her to get hers. And she gets hers in a spectacular way. And then our killer girl shows up and like plows her with the ambulance, and then she's still alive, and just you see her blow her face in with a shotgun. Which again, I mean, like, in real life, that shit would be terribly disturbing to me. I do not like violence at all in real life, but I love the magic, if you will, of it in horror films. Like, I grew up as an effects kid, so, you know, I love that kind of stuff. But that was really satisfying because you hated her so much. So now they all go on a run, you know, they want to protect the senator and everything. They take her to a secret underground bunker where they meet the resistance fighters and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. But here's where it really starts going off the rails for me, is then Joe wants to go back to his shop, so the Mexican guy and the killer lady all go with him back in the van that the military that's hunting them already know they're in. And I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Now they're gonna target you. Conveniently, they needed to do that, you know, because they got to get out of the bunker because the military for a different reason is coming over there and have found out about them. They're gonna swipe all that down. We also find out the resistance has a plan to go kill the other presidential candidate, which, you know, in a way is kind of cool. It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, the government was dumb because they were so short-sighted about, well, we'll allow you to kill government officials. They didn't think that anybody would try to kill them. You know what I mean? And that does come into play a little bit, but not as much as it could have, because that really might have been the way to end the purge, is if like all the government officials just started, everybody just went after them. Enough of them died. They're like, you know what? Fuck this. We're not doing this anymore. Maybe. I don't know. But that kind of stuff bothered me. And it's pretty much just kind of your typical shootout movie from there. Even in the church, you know, they rescue the senator and everything. Some people die that should have died. It should have been more developed in the movie and weren't, but, you know, so you don't really care. Then, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you at this point. It just kind of devolves into a bit of a mess. I mean, it's perfectly fun if you know what you're in for when you go into these things, that they're not going to be as good as you want them to, because as ridiculous as the idea of the Purge itself is, these movies could be fantastic if they actually had better written characters. Because I even liked some of the characters in this movie, but I'm just like baffled by certain elements of the stupidity and the choices that are made, or choices that are not made, or things that are not even thought about for these people that have been dealing with these things for decades, you know? So, which is interesting too, because that does say the Purge has been going on for 20 years. I don't remember the history of the new founding fathers or any of that. I need to rewatch the others to get my bearings on that, but, you know, I don't know. The one thing I did really like that was really underdeveloped is that now we had Purge tourism. So like all these people from foreign countries were coming in here to be like Americans and kill people. And there's really only like one scene with that, but it is pretty cool. They all get wasted by Joe and the Mexican when they're saving the president, the senator, and not Punisher. But I really would like to see more played into that. You know, this idea of non-Americans coming over to try and be Americans and kill and all that kind of stuff. I think that could have been really, really interesting. Also with these schoolgirls and stuff, like they all have like gold-plated AK-47s and shit. I'm like, what universe are we in anymore? But I guess like that's a nitpick, you know. I mean, I guess in this world that could exist, so. But yeah, so some of the designs are cool and everything, but there wasn't any real spectacular tense scenes, nothing too crazy. Definitely some jumps and everything, a lot of predictability, a lot of things you see coming. No real great twists or turns, so. You know, so I don't know. We'll see where it goes. They kind of left off with a lot of people were protesting the banning of the Purge or something. So, I don't know, riots were happening, whatever. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be a fourth one, even though they shut down the Purge. Well, they said they're going to. You know, the senator, of course, wins the presidential election, and she's like, the first thing I'm going to do is shut down the Purge. But we don't actually see it happen. So, I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess, because I'm sure this thing made enough money that we will see part 4 eventually, maybe a year or two away, I guess. So, cool beans. I'm sure I'll be there to watch it. Like I do with all of them. But what did you guys think? Do you agree? Do you have the same problems, or have you already been prepared for that kind of stupidity? You know, I'm just let me know what you thought. Who was your favorite character, favorite kill, all that kind of stuff. We can geek out about it down in the comments, because I did enjoy this movie. I just had a lot of problems with it, as I always do. I want these Purge movies to be better than they are. But let me hear your thoughts, and you can click that thumbs up button. Give me the thumbs of encouragement, because I love to be encouraged. And I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys later.